Good morning. Today what I'm doing is I'm bringing out my VZ52, my Czechoslovakian self-loading rifle. And I know it's shown up here a lot, but today what I have it out for is we're going to talk about ammunition. And this originally was chambered. The 52 was chambered in the 7.62 times 45 round. They call that the Czechoslovakian round because the Czechoslovakians were the only ones who were making it, and they made it specifically for this gun, or this gun was made specifically for that round. So it's hard to think that they only made it as long as they were making this gun, and that was between 1952 and 1957. Is beginning 57 is when they were actually making this. Because what happened was in 57 the Soviets came out and said, "Hey, this doesn't fit with our arsenal. What we want to do is make it so that it'll work with the 7.62 times 39 round, which is the AK round, the SKS round. They're all the same round. So that it came out with the 52/57, and that was very short-lived because the VZ58 came out in 1958, and it was a semi-automatic. I mean, it was a full automatic firearm. So this went by the wayside. So it was really only made in this style. It was really only made for 7 years, and not 7 years. It was 52 to 57, so 5 years. So anyway, it was made in, like I said, in the 45. So you can't find the ammo. I found that some of it's expensive, $45 for 20 rounds. The brass is hard to come by. You can't really find the brass. So in order to shoot this gun, which is what I like to do, is shoot my guns, came up with an idea of by looking in Nuremberg, they have a converter, a cartridge converter. And I found out that there's cartridge converters for all sorts of things. You can turn a 12 gauge into a 9mm. You can, all these different inserts into chambers that will allow you to do this crazy stuff. But what I did was I did it so that we could fit this is the 7.62 by 39 round. And they're cheap because a lot of guns use them. And I'm not sure how it's going to affect with the ban on Russian ammunition. We'll see how all that works out. So the idea is that unlike cartridges that have a rim on them, like this is 30-30. I'm sorry, no, this is a 303 brick, 33 brick. The 39 has no rim on it. A lot of rounds don't have rims on them. The 8mm, the 7mm, the 30-06, a lot of rounds don't have a rim on them. So what happens is when you shove this into the chamber and the bolt comes up and hits behind and holds it tight, it's being held by the neck and the shoulder. So the shoulder is what holds it. So before I put the insert into the chamber, if I put this in, it would get lost. It would go in too far. It would go in 6mm too far. So what the rim, what this little rim did was it sits down inside the chamber. You can imagine the chamber coming down right where the shoulder is going to hit. So it makes it a little bit shorter in that area. So it brings it back. It was really easy to do. I've already checked this to make sure that it's empty, that there's no rounds in it. The magazine is empty, and I put it back in. So let me see if I can do this here without causing too much problem. So what happens is you get the kit, and it comes with this. It's a blank. It comes with red Loctite, which is, I guess, the permanent Loctite. And on this, there's the ring. It sits right up here on the shoulder where it's supposed to sit. So what they have you do is they have you take the Loctite and they put it on the ring. Then you take a Q-tip and you put it up inside. You put it up inside, but it's got Loctite on it. And you put it up to that area where this ring, oops, I can't see, where this ring is going to sit. And you run it around, and that's to prevent any spaces or anything in between the ring and the chamber. Then they have you put this. It's got the ring on it with the Loctite on it. You put it up inside, and you slam it home. Pull it back. It's not. Pull it back. And you slam it home again. And what that does is it pushes it right up against where. So then, because you're going to have some excess Loctite sitting in there, what you do is you take your cleaning swab or your cleaning rod with a patch on the end, and you run it through a couple of times to make sure you get rid of all of the extra Loctite. And you put this back in again, let it sit out a little bit. And you'll slam it again, and then you pull it out. Now, then you're supposed to let it sit for 24 hours. I actually, because I did this on Saturday, and my wife doesn't like me to shoot on Sundays, it actually sat for 2 days before I fired it. When you get ready to fire it, one of the things they have you in the directions, very easy directions to follow, is they want you to shoot one round, and then they want you to look and see what things look like. You look at the empty cartridge and you check it out and make sure there's no deformities that would be caused by having the ring sitting in there improperly. You make sure that the ring's not sitting on the end of your cartridge. So then what I did then was I took, well, my wife was home that day, so I only fired one round. She doesn't like me shooting out back. And it's legal and it's safe where I have it set up. I'll take you back there sometime. We'll go shooting, and we'll test shooting one of the guns. And so yesterday she's working, so I took it back out there and I shot. They said you want to be confident that the ring is in place before you start shooting rapid fire. So I took and I shot one more round, seemed fine. Then I shot 5 in a row quickly, rapid fire. Everything's fine. So what happens now if the ring comes off and you don't know it? I thought about that, and it's like, well, that means it's not going to go down and sit where it's supposed to sit, and then it fires and your headspace is off and causes problems. That's not true. Apparently, from what the directions say, that if the ring comes off, what will happen will be your bolt will push it in so far that it won't be able to fire. So that's how you'll know if the ring comes off. Then you have to go looking for the ring. They say if the ring comes off, that find it and repeat the procedure with the Loctite, and that it probably meant that the chamber wasn't clean enough. And I guess that's the secret, is making sure that the chamber is clean. I cleaned it with I cleaned it regularly, and then I cleaned it with some long Q-tips and acetone to make sure that things were extra clean inside there so that it would stick. And it looks like it's sticking, and it looks like for now it's holding up pretty good. There's a lot of some people like them, some people don't like them. I know that some people say, well, you're changing the configuration of the gun, and it's no longer historic or whatever. But um, I want to fire my rifle. I bought a rifle and I want to fire it. I'm not a collector, I guess, to that point where I don't want to fire my weapon. But anyway, I guess you know that already. So this is a good thing. I think this is going to work out well, and I'm going to get to shoot my gun. And thanks for the Russians using the 7.62 for everything. I mean, you have the 7.62 25 for pistols, and the 38.9 for all of the semi-automatics and automatic weapons, and then you have the 45, which they don't use anymore, and the 54 for the Mosin. I mean, they're all very close rounds, so it helps out. So, well, anyway, I hope I didn't bore you with this, but it's just something to think about. I mean, look it up on cartridge conversion sleeves or whatever, and you'd be amazed. It's the stuff that you can. I mean, there's one you can change the I think it's a 303 over to a 30-06, which I mean I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff that you can do. I don't know how safe it is. I don't know how good it is, but I know this is good for me, and so this is what I've done. All right. Well, thank you. I guess the next thing we're going to be working on is I have a Winchester. I have a Winchester Model 90 that I'm going to be working on, and we'll see how that goes. All right. Well, thank you.